Everybody, my name is Nairi and you will find me on the Doula Nairi channel where I explore everything around doula support and also family education. But I am an ex-foster carer and I adopted from foster care my two sons. So today I'm going to talk to you about what it's like in the first few days when you receive children into your home as a foster carer or an adopter when you know they've suffered abuse, which, to be honest, with many of the cases that we have, they have suffered abuse. The first thing to note, of course, is that children will have their own defence mechanisms when they come to you. You're not likely to know them very well unless you've had an amazing transition period. So first of all, the child will be trying to suss out who you are and what you're about and whether you're safe. Now, this might transpire to be shown in a number of different ways. It might be that the child is actually quite withdrawn and is quite shy with you, does not make a lot of eye contact, or they may actually be quite chaotic and wild, and this is probably because they're anxious and they don't know what's going to happen next. So you might have the two ends of the spectrum. Now, as a new foster carer and adopter, you will be so excited to receive these children and so keen, in a way, to try and show them that you're going to care for them safely and give them all the love that they need, that you may become over enthusiastic about what you're going to provide for them. I can remember those early days with us, and maybe it was that we tried to provide too much food, too many things to do. Sometimes I think as a family we try to overdo it. So my advice to you would be keep everything really low key, really calm, and don't invite too many things or people into the home to confuse the issue, because the first few days undoubtedly are going to be very, very difficult. The children that you have will not trust you, even if they appear to. They will be waiting for something to happen. And you may find as well that the children that you're going to be caring for have a number of issues that become quite quickly apparent. They may have developmental issues, find it hard to communicate with you, and you don't get the normal kind of rapport or bonding that you would get with a child that hasn't been through some of the abuses that the children you care for would. It can also be a very emotionally draining for you. So make sure that you do get the rest that you need and that you have people that you can ring to offload to. It could be that that's a social worker or a friend or a family member. So when you come to meal times, this can be a real challenge for abused children. They may well have suffered neglect, in which case they may overeat or they may undereat. We had experiences of children actually eating to the point of being sick. This might well be because in the past they haven't known where that previous meal has come from, or they may actually be trying to keep you happy. And remember, a lot of what they do in the early days will be to try and keep you happy, because adults have been the abusers in the past. They have no way of knowing that you're not going to do the same. So keep the meal simple, watch what they're eating, try not to overload them, try to kind of regulate what you're giving them. Sleeping. Again, very difficult for new children in a new home to know that they're going to be safe. So find ways of making it comforting for them. It might be that you need to have a little nightlight on. It may be things that you wouldn't want to do and continue to do into the future, but in those early days you need to kind of make allowances for them. So find ways of making the room less scary. Night lights, possibly gentle music. It may be that if you have a sibling group and you're not intending to have them together in the future, but the social worker says you can have them together to start with, that might help them. Think about what they can have in the room. And incidentally, don't be too judgmental on what they come with. You may have created an amazing room with loads of resources and toys, but actually what's really important to them is that smelly cuddly toy that they brought with them, or that really old car with the wheels falling off, because it's part of their identity. And whilst their past may hold very difficult memories for them, they still have that identity. So make sure that you don't try to take everything off of them, especially in the first few days. We actually had two children that wanted to sleep with their shoes on, and we let them do that. And we also found that those children carried those shoes around with them, and all their possessions, which weren't many, they tried to carry them with them, and we let them do that. I suggest that you do the same, because they've lost everything, they've lost their family, and those few items might mean a huge amount to them. You will find as well, or we found then, should we say, you may not find, that the children may warm to one of you if there are two of you more than the other, or that if you're on your own and you say you have a sibling group, that one child will warm to you more than the other. In reality, we still find now that the children that we have identify better perhaps with one of us than the other. And this could well be down to their history, and it's going to be really difficult to change. Now, I'm not saying that with therapy and time that won't change, but don't force it in the first few days. So I just want to give you an example, and it is only an example. When we had our two sons that we have now that we fostered, when they first came, they wouldn't come near me, and we didn't understand why, but we do understand that now. And actually, we just went with it. My husband got a train set out and started playing with them, and we got there in the end. We also found they wouldn't eat anything when they first came. They were too traumatized. So don't worry if all of your efforts of providing them with lots of lovely toys to play with and lots of lovely food doesn't really work. Just be there for them, and in time they will start to warm with you once they realise that nothing bad is going to happen to them. Finally, don't be afraid to talk about what's happened to them. They probably won't want to start with, but it's okay to mention, family, potentially siblings that they might have been separated. Be as open as you can with wisdom and gentleness, but you don't want them to feel that they can't mention what they've come from, or they can't mention that they're missing. It could be for an adopter actually that they're missing the foster family, or they're missing their birth family. However abusive that birth family might be, that's what they've known and that's what they've left behind. So just a few tips and advice for you guys. I will run through so many more things on my videos. If you think you find this really helpful, please subscribe to my channel. It's a mixed channel with lots of doula things around birthing and baby care, but also lots of things around fostering and adoption and abuse in general. So if you like what you hear, then please subscribe to my channel.